Welcome and happy Tuesday. You are live with Sandra at It's All About Choices, where you make the decision to take action regarding your health and your wellness and weight loss goals, and I guide you in making the best decisions for you. And every Tuesday, I have the pleasure of dishing out your daily dose of nutrition and wellness news for your mind, your body, and your soul. And I hope that each and every one of you had a wonderful weekend. I hope your day is going good so far. And I am always thankful for those who take time out of their busy schedule to join me live on Tuesdays. Hopefully you're taking a break. Hopefully you're having some lunch, kind of detoxing before you begin the second half of your day. And for those who are listening to the replay, I also thank you for taking time out of your schedule to just pause for a moment. I know things are hectic at the end of the day, to listen in to some information that will help to move you forward. And I'm very honored to have the privilege of doing this. And so we are tuning in and we are continuing. Actually, I'm taking a few steps back. We're going to do another favorite topic this week. And this is going back to some of the series of videos and trainings that you found most helpful and most beneficial. And this one is about vitamin D, the often overlooked benefit of vitamin D and its impact on our immune system. All right. And so I encourage you to say hello to me, post comments, post questions throughout this training session today, and I will respond to them, all right? So please do not hesitate to ask any questions and just to engage. I love engagement. I love it when people are it's a two-way conversation. Even though I can't hear you, I can read your comments, okay? And so just as a little tidbit here, unfortunately, about 42% of the US population is vitamin D deficient, okay? And you won't even know it, with some populations having even higher levels of deficiency, including premenopausal women and those with poor nutritional habits, as well as those with darker melanin in their skin. So a lot of us are vitamin D deficient and we do not even know it. And this nutrient is especially important for the immune system health as well. And so leaving many people wondering whether supplementing with vitamin D may help reduce the risk of contracting viruses of all sorts, including, of course, the coronavirus that causes COVID-19. And even if you live in sunny Florida like I do, we are still at risk of being vitamin D deficient, okay? And so stay tuned to hear more about why this is the case, all right? And so I'm gonna give a quick introduction for those who do not know me. My name is Sandra Goltry, and I am a registered dietitian, licensed nutritionist, and pulling from a variety of leading edge and weight loss strategies and lifestyle strategies, I simply help adults to integrate healthier eating habits into their daily lifestyles. And not just eating habits, but self-care habits as well. And the goal is to build a lifestyle of habits that last for life, okay? We're not looking for a Band-Aid, we're not looking for a quick fix, we're looking for something that you can incorporate over time to where it becomes natural. All right, and by now, many of you have seen the promos, you've seen the posts about Back on Track, which is a free 60-minute session to help you to discover the keys to weight loss success. And this is normally valued at $129. And so for those who wish to take a deeper dive with me and to really gain more insight on, how to end the vicious yo-yo cycle and with the weight gain and weight loss, building healthy relationships with food, getting your old self back. A lot of times people said, I used to do this. I used to feel good. I used to socialize more. Well, let's get back to that and having more energy and focus throughout the day, especially on your job. So stay tuned with me until the end because you definitely want to hear more about this. And today is the last day to take advantage of getting on my calendar. So this is very, very important. And so for those, who may not be able to wait to the end, definitely take a sneak peek at actionchoices.com/backontrack, okay? That is actionchoices.com/backontrack to kind of get a sneak peek of what I'm talking about. And so let's jump into today's training. So we're going to talk about the overlooked benefit of vitamin D and its impacts on the immune system. And so share with me, what were you doing? What are you doing more of these days? Are you going to the gym more? Are you eating out more? Are you going back to the office more? You're traveling more? Or what are some things that you are doing more of now that maybe we were not doing a year ago and definitely 2 years ago, right? So are you back in the gym a little bit more? Are you eating out more? Are you back into the office more? You're traveling more? Or something else that you have reintroduced as we're trying to find a normalcy again, but we are so far from out of the woods. I know people who are still contracting COVID, so we still must take caution and be diligent and wear our mask and exercise safety precautions. And so because we are about 2.5 years into this pandemic, and now we have an economic crisis going on. So we're really going through a lot. So topic number one, so the overlooked benefit of vitamin D and how it relates to our immune system. So having a strong immune system will help your body to fight the fight, is what I like to say. And so, for example, reducing the occurrences of illnesses and viruses, specifically in this season, having a strong body is possible until this season passes. We need it all the time. I'm all about, you want to stay ready. You don't want to pump yourself up with a bunch of supplements after the fact. You want to stay ready, okay? And medical intervention and we now have boosters, we now have all the vaccines for the viruses, but we definitely still want to continue to stay on top of it and be proactive. And so the goal is to always avoid trying to get the body ready to fight after the fact. After the fact is a key. The goal is to keep the body ready to fight. So in other words, we want to be very proactive, okay, versus reactive, because it's more effective that way, okay? So there's no reason to load up on vitamin C and load up on vitamin D and all this kind of stuff when you're already sick. We want to have that continuous dose in us on a regular basis to where we prevent things longer. And when it does happen, because we all are gonna get something every now and then the impacts are less and the length of times is less. So what is vitamin D and why do we need it? So again, as I am going through this, ask questions, make comments in the post, and I will respond to them, all right? So what is vitamin D and why do we need it? Okay, our first topic that we're going to talk about. Vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin, meaning that it's absorbed along with the fats that we eat in our diets, okay? And it's stored in the body's fat tissues. And so vitamin D is an essential vitamin for a wide range of body functions. And when I say essential in this case, it means we must obtain this from food because our bodies does not produce it naturally. Of course, we get it from the sun also. So the sun is a primary source. And then we also have some good food sources of vitamin D as well. And so, and then vitamin D is an important vitamin because it promotes calcium absorption, okay, in the gut. And it maintains an adequate blood level of calcium and phosphate. So vitamin D plays a very vital role, and it enables normal mineralization of the bone, and it prevents symptoms such as spasms of the hand and feet and cramps and things of that nature. So we tend to think about potassium a lot when we think about cramps and things like that, but vitamin D is also important as well. And so vitamin D is also needed for the phenomenal process of bone remodeling. And so this is bone growth, where we're building up bone, and bone remodeling is breaking down. So that's just that whole process of keeping our bones healthy, okay? And it helps us later in life, okay? Later in life, when you may notice people hunching over, that's years of maybe poor calcium absorption, calcium deficiency over the years. So we won't see it until it manifests later in life, and you won't know it in a blood test all the time as far as calcium levels. That's when you need to take a bone density test. So it's very important to get your calcium servings in that, and usually if it's a real serving of of dairy, then it's going to have vitamin D included in there. But sometimes we need a supplement to help us out. So without enough vitamin D, bones can become thin, brittle, and misshapen, okay? So together with calcium, vitamin D helps to protect older adults from osteoporosis, okay? Osteo means bone, porosis means soft. So we want our bones to stay strong. So think about it when our elderly fall, they break bones, and it takes a very long time to heal if they ever do, right? And so this is seen in older adults, and it's a disease of the bones in which they become very soft, very fragile, and it's also called adult bone loss. So very preventable. And one reason why the dairy food group which does not include almond milk or other plant-based milk except soy milk, is very vital to the overall health of our bodies, okay? So if anybody got any comments they want to say about that, because I know a lot of people have almond milk in their life. It's great to have, but it's more of a fat because it's made from almonds. It's not a true dairy product to where it's giving all the vitamins and minerals that you would get from a dairy. So vitamin D has many other functions in our body as well. Muscles need to move, so it's good for muscles. Nerves need to carry messages between the brain and all the other parts of our body, so it's good for that. And last but not least, our immune system. Okay, our immune system needs vitamin D to help fight bacteria and viruses, okay? So here's a question that I have for you. Post yes or no. Have you ever had your vitamin D levels checked? Okay, so one of the things that I always recommend when I'm with a new client, I ask them, have you had your vitamin D levels checked? And if you haven't, the next time you get labs drawn to find out, because you will not always have symptoms. And then a lot of times when your body's just kind of acting haywire, reacting kind of weird to foods, just things, I call it, you just falling apart, inflammation, hormones, just sometimes a lot of things just not working in your body or behaving in your body, and you're having reactions that's not normal. You need to check those levels, okay? And so anyone saying that they have not checked their vitamin D levels, I highly, highly recommend them. And you have to make the request because it is not part of normal annual blood work, okay? So you want to get them checked, especially if you've never had them checked, and especially if you have any form of melanin in your skin, you definitely want to get it checked. So being vitamin D deficient is very common with non-Caucasians due to the melanin in our skin, and it blocks the absorption of sun. And then a lot of us are not in the sun a lot anyway, okay? And so that along with we're not in the sun, we may wear a hat, we wear makeup, things of that nature will also cut the amount of time that we are in the sun and cut the amount of vitamin D that's absorbed from the sun. And I personally was vitamin D deficient in my 30s. So this is when I was also having problems with my blood pressure elevating and before I got diagnosed with essential hypertension. And when it was caught in blood work, it was low. It wasn't devastating low, but it was in the teens. So when you want it 30 or above, and mine was in the teens, so it was pretty low. And luckily, lucky that I was not required to take a high dose. A lot of times when it's low, the doctor will have you take a high dose of it and they'll monitor you. But I was able to get the levels up just by simply taking an over-the-counter vitamin D supplement. And over time, they slowly did go up, but I do have to continually take it. And so you definitely want to keep that in check, okay? And so now let's go into our second topic, or our next topic is, can vitamin D lower your risk of contracting or getting COVID-19? So that was the big thing back in 2020. Everybody was loading up on vitamin D and vitamin C back in 2020. And so even with the vaccines present, it is important to note that there's currently no cure, right, for COVID-19, and there's no preventative measures other than wearing your mask and your physical distancing and proper hygiene practices that protect you from developing the disease. With that said, some research shows that having healthy levels of vitamin D, as well as taking a vitamin D supplement, can help your immune system keep it healthy, and it may protect against respiratory illnesses in general. So again, I always like to say food is your number one supplement. So if you're eating around the plate, meaning you're not omitting food groups and you're getting enough of what your body needs, which is very specific to each person, all you need is a basic multivitamin, multimineral to supplement what food may not be able to absorb well in your body, or maybe you just don't have enough calories in your day because you don't require as many calories. And so that is a good reason. Now, there are exceptions. Sometimes we do need an extra vitamin D supplement, and sometimes we need a fish oil supplement if the doctor feels that you need that for cholesterol reasons. But a lot of the other ones, food will suffice, and then a basic multivitamin will suffice. And so vitamin D plays a very critical role in promoting the immune system response. And so it has these anti-inflammatory and immunoregulatory properties, and is crucial for the activation of our immune system defenses. So we want to keep our vitamin D levels up on a regular basis, or where they need to the levels to where they are optimal on a regular basis. So vitamin D is also known to enhance the functions of our immune cells, including our T cells and the macrophages, which protect our bodies against pathogens, okay, getting sick. So in fact, the vitamin is so important for the immune system that low levels of vitamin D have been associated with increased susceptibility to infection, disease, and immune-related disorders. So for example, low vitamin D levels are associated with an increased risk of respiratory diseases, including like tuberculosis, asthma, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, many know that as COPD, as well as viral and bacterial respiratory infections. So vitamin D is critical for our immune system, okay? But again, you don't want to overdo it after you get sick. So you want to keep your levels normal on a regular basis, so that you're strong and your body can fight the fight, okay? And so deficiency in this nutrient may compromise the immune system response and increase your risk of an infection or a disease. So again, chime in with any questions and any comments and reply surprised. Are you surprised that vitamin D plays a vital role in a healthy immune system? Okay, so it's not just bone health, but it's also immune system health, and of course, a lot of other things too. But if you're surprised to hear all the other reasons to make sure you have optimal levels of vitamin D, let me know, because a lot of times people don't think about respiratory diseases and things like that. And so many of us go to vitamin C to boost the immune system when we get a cold or when we get sick. But are you surprised that vitamin D also plays a very, very important role in our immune system health? And so before sharing some good news, or some not good news, but good food sources of vitamin D, remember that special announcement that I mentioned about taking a deeper dive with me. Summer is coming, right? Summer is close. And if you live in Florida, it's already hot. It already feels like a summertime. And are you ready? Ask yourself, are you ready to break out your shorts, your tank tops, your swimsuits, and things like that? Because, hey, it's that time. It's that time of the year. This is what I have been hearing, though. A lot of people are not comfortable with wearing the shorts, the tank tops. They're not happy with how they look, and they're not comfortable putting on a bathing suit either. And so if you're not ready, hey, this is a good time to get ready, okay? So I invite you to a one-on-one conversation with me to take a deeper dive into defining, how to get ready, how to get those levels up, how to become what I like to call nutritionally fit. We have physically fit and we have nutritionally fit. And a lot of times I have seen this, I've witnessed this with many of my clients. If there are many nutritional deficiencies, then a lot of times your body just reacts negatively to so many things that it really shouldn't, or you'll have weird reactions to things that you really shouldn't. And so what I'm looking for are 12 committed people who are committed to not just a weight loss success, but building healthy eating habits to have overall good health, where I like to say, stepping into your highest level of health. And I'm offering 60-minute no cost back on track sessions where it's really designed to discover your personalized keys to weight loss success. Valued at $125, complimentary. Today's the last day though to sign up and to put your name in the hat. What we're going to do though, we're going to define a very crystal clear vision of your specific nutrition and weight loss path. What is it that we need for you? Okay, it's different for everybody. Uncover those hidden challenges that may have been holding you back. What's been holding you back from getting past the plateau, from being able to stick to this long term. And then the goal is for you to have something to work with. When we get off the phone, you have something that you can implement the next day. Okay, that's really what I want for you, is to have something to work with, to kind of begin that process of breaking down those barriers and breaking down those walls to help move you forward. And this is the perfect time to get some personalized help to help ramp up your immune system so you can stay ready, not always trying to get ready after the fact. We do not know what the future holds, right? We're praying that this passes and good things are going to come our way. But until then, we need to stay ready, get ready, and do the most that we can. As I talked about last week, control was on our side of the street as much as possible, which we can through nutrition, lifestyle changes, and exercise and things of that nature. So if you'd like to need some help with improving your eating habits, building healthier eating habits, losing weight, improving your labs. Think about your labs, increasing energy levels. This is a great place to start, okay? And so to put your name in the hat for a complimentary one-on-one session, basically go to actionchoices.com back on track. And it's actionchoices.com/back on track. And so let me give you a little insight real quick on what I'm looking for. So I'm looking for individuals who are extremely committed to achieving their goals, okay? Maybe you are sick and tired of being in the same place. I say if you have been trying over 6 months to do this on your own, or you've tried things and it's not sticking, good time to try something a little different, right? And so you're willing to do what it takes to have success long-term. My best advice to you is to apply now, don't wait. These sessions do go quickly. I have a few left and today is the last day. So you don't want to miss out. You don't want to get disappointed, okay? And I am very excited to work with you and to help move you forward. So our final topic for today is, what are some of the good food sources of vitamin D? Okay, if you have any questions about the session, please post them and I will respond to that. So what are some good food sources of vitamin D? Magic question. So there are several, okay? So remember, I mentioned that 42% of Americans are vitamin D deficient, probably higher, to be honest with you. And with some populations having higher deficiencies than others. So knowing how to get more vitamin D from food sources is essential to kind of help your body get ready. And so a few of those sources, and a few foods have vitamin D naturally, and then some foods are fortified, meaning it's added to them to give them that vitamin D boost. And so, for this, some of the ones where it's been added, where vitamin D has been added, salmon. So wild caught salmon is a very good choice. Sardines, the egg yolk, okay? These are some natural sources. Egg yolk, these are actually natural sources. Wild caught salmon, egg yolk, the sardines, shrimp, okay? Milk is fortified. So milk is fortified. You want low fat milk, fat-free, either lactose, 1%, with it being fortified. Usually the milk is fortified naturally. Orange juice is also fortified. So that's another one. Some of your cereals, some of your breakfast cereals are fortified with vitamin D. And some yogurts are fortified with vitamin D. And it can be hard to get enough of vitamin D each day through sun exposure and food alone. And so those are some good, so this is a good reason to always have that supplement on the side. Okay, 2,000 IUs is a pretty common over the counter. I mean, they do have higher ones too. 2,000 IUs is what was recommended for me to get my levels up, and it did get them up. So it was a progression, but they did go up, and I continue to take it, and to keep the levels up, because I'm just not in the sun enough to keep the levels up naturally. And so it's very common to have that. So those are some good food sources that are a combination of natural and fortified. And you see that we're across the food groups. We got a protein, of course, the wild caught salmon, your sardines, your egg yolk, your shrimp. And then now we are in the dairy food group. We have your milk and your yogurt. We're in our grains food group, such as different cereals. And we're now in the fruit food group, which is orange juice. So a lot of times just eating around the plate and eating a variety of foods within the food groups, that's right for you, okay? Because again, everybody has different calorie needs and different caloric needs. You're going to get a lot of the nutrients without you having to wonder, did I get this nutrient in? Did I get that nutrient in? Because it's like 22 of them, so it's hard to keep up, right? And so which foods do you eat on a regular basis currently? So it's salmon, sardines, the eggs, the whole egg, the shrimp, fortified milk, cereal, yogurt, orange juice. So what are some of those? Are you doing this on a regular basis already? Because if you are, great. I recommend expanding, okay? So for me, I cover a lot of them. I do the salmon, the egg yolk, the milk, yogurts on a regular basis, and then sardines and shrimp every now and then, and orange juice every now and then. I actually have brought that back into my routine a little bit more. And so variety is key, okay? So any questions or comments or anything, please post, okay? And like any fighting force, the immune system army marches it's, marches on, on its stomach, okay? And so a healthy you should aim to get majority of your vitamin D from foods, okay? From food, from fortified foods, and from beverages, okay? So food, remember that food is medicine, and food is your number one source or your number one supplement. So you don't always want to go the artificial route. It's maybe easier in some cases, but your body's going to always prefer the whole food much better than the supplement. So supplement is to supplement food, not to replace food. I always like to share that with people. And so foods contain other vitamins and minerals and dietary fiber that contribute to good health. And in some cases, those dietary supplements can provide the vitamin D that would otherwise be consumed in less than recommended amounts. Okay, so you want to just kind of be careful with that. So make sure you opt for the food first, and then you supplement with a multivitamin, multimineral. All right. And so in closing, so if you need any recommendations for a good multivitamin, multimineral that is hypoallergenic, one that I like is hypoallergenic, is vegetarian actually ingredient. So for those who are conscious of that, it's a good source of vitamin D. And to help sustain normal levels, then definitely DM me, reach out to me personally. And to help with building those healthier habits, put your name in the hat for that complimentary 60-minute one-on-one phone session with me to help discover your personalized keys to weight loss success and just building healthier eating habits. Normally valued at $125, complimentary. So put your name in the hat, actionchoices.com/back on track, and DM me if you would like to have a recommendation for a good multivitamin, multimineral. And if you have any other questions, any comments, please post in the chat. And that is all that I have for you today. This concludes what I have for your weekly dose of nutrition news for your mind and your body and your soul. I am Sandra, your RDN, and tune in next week where we're going to have a new topic for next week. And so I'm going to surprise you with that one. Okay. So thank you for tuning in and have a wonderful rest of your day. Be blessed. Bye-bye.